Well, welcome back everybody to the channel. Today, really glad actually. I wanted to start nice and early for you all, so really glad to be finishing the Trans-Siberian Express Airways Corporate Charter Adventure. Hopefully we can get that done. Today we'll be flying down from Khabarovsk to Vladivostok, of course, the final destination, probably one of the furthest eastern cities in the nation, and then afterwards we'll be flying nowhere else because that'll be the end. So, but I will do other flights after, of course, just not part of this series I've been doing. I will be moving on. We'll be doing other series after this as well. Today we'll be going there on VATSIM, of course, and I have got my flight plan downloaded and, of course, ready to be installed into the aircraft. So we're going to do a quick start today. We've had a quick walk around the plane. Everything's looking pretty good. There's no issues there to be concerned about. Plane's looking very big actually. It's a surprise they made the tail so big, but I suppose it needs it. Anyway, load flight plan. Today we're only going up to 43,000 feet, VFR conditions by the look of it, and it's light. It's actually daytime. Just to confirm, I do always use real world time, and whether somebody did query me about it, but yeah, real world time and weather there. So don't be worrying about that. Slightly shorter as well. Yeah, like I said, the last flight we did to Khabarovsk was probably the longest one in the entire flight plan. So we'll be back to standard flight time today, 1 hour 30 minutes. I do have the information. Sorry, I'm going to be distracted. Just wait for the APU to start. So generators coming on and bleed air, and we see the cockpit and packs on, etc. Just while we wait. So we're flight level 430, 10,000. Sorry, 2,000 on fuel. Let's refuel now. I have got external power connected. I don't know if it's still out there. No, it's not out there anymore. So we might as well cancel that. Go back to the iOS, and we're going to get the beast of a Citation X fueled and weighed up. So there's only 2 crew at the moment. We do need to get everyone loaded aboard. We do the baggage first, so 236, a little bit more today. Nice healthy amount of baggage, and we are actually full up, so we have 10 passengers. Yeah, so we have the maximum capacity today, which is quite incredible really. I'm just going to estimate here for the weights. Usually right, and 1100 kg, I think that's like half an hour of fuel or something like that. We need 2283 anyway. There we go. A little bit more than usual won't, or needed, that won't hurt the aircraft. So 05 right, the airport without, so the runway without any lights, if you remember from the last stream, and we want the RD2 uniform departure, so uniform departure, and we'll check the departure route on the charts just before we get out of here. Of course, we don't want to be departing without knowing initial heights, etc., any restrictions, and we'll do the arrival now. So it's as usual, it's actually programmed it in. Flight plan initialization, let's just check everything's good. So climb 270, set performance, take up landing fuel. And our altitude, and we'll get the local transition level. I think it's probably like lower there, yeah, 6,000 feet, 4060. Okay, so there's the speed limit. Obviously 250 below 10,000. 9 passengers aboard, so somebody's not unfortunately weighing enough. It might be the pilot. Maybe not. That's very, very odd. I don't know how heavy they think people are, but like those weights are quite considerable. Anyway, we'll confirm that. There's no way to change the N1 buggers on this, which is a shame. I haven't really found any way to do it. We want to perform this. Check these speeds. Damn it. Should be able to change it in this section here. There should be options anyway. Can't really change it to dry or wet. It's just always going to be on the same one. I have tried it before. Tried to select it. I don't really know if it's broken or not. It would be good to change it though. Anyway, we're going to confirm. We're only going to do five flaps today, and we'll do standard climb and things. Computer's usually pretty accurate, and then landing that will obviously change depending on fuel weight. So let's get the door closed. 23 degrees outside. Let's go ahead and connect to the old VATSIM network. That'll be VATSIM UK. You can use the X-Pilot plugin for X-Plane 12. So we're Romeo Alpha 3 Whiskey today. And I suspect we won't have any traffic. There's just been one, well, there's just been one there departed. But I think this might be a rare sighting for the entirety of the journey. We are ready for an engine start, so we're going to turn the cockpit packs off. We're going to stick those on low pressure still. Wait for 10% on the N2. Introduce the fuel. There we go, nice successful engine start, number 1. As you can see, monitor the, actually we didn't cycle the brake, but there's hydraulic pressure now anyway, we'll just quickly cycle them. Electrics, all looking good on the right side, controls, engines. So we're looking at about 540 on the fuel flow. And as you can see, the ITT is nice and in range, so we'll go for number left engine start, number 1, number 2, whatever. And introduce fuel. Okay, so we have over 20% N1, over 60% N2. We can now turn the cockpit packs and cabin packs back on, and hopefully we'll cool it down a little bit. It's nice and warm, at least 23 degrees. Keep it 18 for the climb and the cruise. The APU stays on, of course. We have the charts. Let's get them open now. QNH 1003, quite low today. Make sure you get the QNH as well before we set your minimums. Just give me a sec, actually, let me just change the performance factors a little bit. So 180. Vertical speed. Initial altitude is already at 3000, but according to this we need to go to flight level 8000, 180, and then 18,000, so... Well, then you got 13,000 there, so I'm thinking there's an error there in the FMC. And yeah, make sure you set the barometric pressure before you set the minimum, so you go back to minimums, and then it's 1,000 feet above, so 1,050 just about. About there. Both sides. At least that way you'll have an accurate, excuse me, an accurate minimums call out. Okay, charts, we want departure, so let's hopefully get it, excuse me, hopefully get it on the first try this time. Number 05 right. That was approach. Excuse me, we didn't get it right the first time. RNAV 05. So if I did we came down there I think for the arrival when we came here, except for it would have been, we would have come round, yeah, if you remember from the last stream we came down and then round to 05 right. Today we're going away from it, so we'll be taking the, as I say, the Arda. It's not on there. Can you simply look up here and it, you know, doesn't say it. It says, oh, it says Arda to uniform, actually, that is our departure. Can't see it on the lines for some reason. I would be south, okay, so there's to Papa, and then down this area. Okay, we don't have to worry too much, let's get going. So text light's coming on. We did turn the beacons on, I'm sure we'll be fine. Pitos. Actually, I'm going to hold off just on the pitos and wait to get to the runway. Quick flight control check. Excuse me, everyone, just jumping the gun a little bit. I thought we'd straight out taxi there, but we've just been put in a bit of an awkward space. So it's really strange just to see the Lion Air. I suppose it's a little bit strange because I've not seen it before, but the Thai Lion Airlines. There's a lot of Thai here. It's Khabarovsk. I didn't notice that when it landed because you remember we landed in the dark. Right. So, yeah, so it might be the same in Vladivostok.
Plan acknowledge. Scale me through the menu when you are ready.
I love that. I love the accent down here. It's realistic to the area. It's one of the few things actually that pushback does sometimes. It actually does
Ground to complete.
the accent very accurately. Right, text lights off. We don't want to blind him. Cross checking the instruments. It's pretty quick setup in this aircraft. I mean, obviously it does take time for the APU and things, but still. So there's our departure there. We're going to do a sort of circuit. Upwind, downwind, and then to the south.
Okay, all doors and cards are closed. Ready to connect.
Okay, he's connecting. I hope. My mistake. I keep making the proper error of. There we go. Not being able to see when he's connected, and then obviously releasing the brakes and getting a bit out of control. So just be aware of that. Anyway, final section today. Final sector. I'm really glad we're doing it nice and early in the morning so we can get it complete. And then on Friday we've got a special 747 stream. Probably be all day, to be honest. 13 hour plus.
Ground to complete. Please show me where you want to go. Starting pushback.
Doing a good job. He's not pushed us into any line aircraft, that's for sure. A lot of 737s here though. Good amount of tyre line. There's no. It's a shame they don't add any Aeroflot onto this, or a Sea Airlines. It would have made the immersion a little bit more realistic. Airport's always looking good though. It looks well detailed. Terminal looks pretty accurate. Not that I've been there, of course, I've only seen images, but from the images I've seen, it just looked pretty accurate to the layout.
Operation complete. Set park and brake.
Perfect. Absolutely
Disconnecting
perfect.
tow. Please stand by.
Love how the way he says tow as well. Disconnecting tow. So in the UK we would say tow. Disconnecting tow bar or something like that. But there, tow bar. Absolutely no worries. So yeah, we've facing this way. It's saying that that's closed there on the chart. I don't know what those X's actually mean. So is that it must mean it's closed, which means Bravo perhaps. And then backtrack the runway.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Okay, great. So anyway, according to the chart, I think the taxiway is just shorter than usual. Right, we'll say goodbye to Sergey. Goodbye. And we'll get going. And this time, I'm not going to forget it, but we're going to actually run the timer today, for once. Ah, okay. So when we need to depart, we'll press ET, and then we'll get going. Make sure we're going the right way. Beautiful time. It does look like it's going to be a little bit like sunset soon, so yeah, good choice to do it early. I was a bit fed up with doing it in the dark, to be honest. It was getting a bit frustrating having to land, and especially with the winds down here, because the well, yeah, let's put it this way, they're not been great. They've been really strong, so it's quite mild at the moment, but it was up to 30, 40, even 60 knots earlier. If this taxiway is closed, then I'm unaware of it. Well, usually the X's would indicate the taxiway is not being used. There's spaces here though. It looks like planes can park down the sides. Yeah, I think we used the disused runway. Taxiway, sorry. So let's go ahead and put strobes on. We're only crossing the runway at the moment. So it's clear left, clear right. I'm going to use the transponder. Test, and then altitude. So 05 right departure, don't forget. And then we're actually landing on 07 right, so it should be pretty much the same direction we're heading. $43,000 set. We'll get the flaps deployed, and we'll deploy 5 and trim the aircraft as suitably as required. Check the cockpit packs. Pressurization is a little bit high, so I want to bring that down just a bit. Pressurization will start pretty much immediately when we get in the air, probably as soon as we get up to about 6,000–7,000 feet, and then it will start to pressurize. You want to keep an eye on it. In flight, you can of course change stuff on the radar in the time being. Anyway, transponders on, strobes on, landing lights, taxi lights, quick annunciation test. Okay, it's all good. Harborough traffic, Romeo Alpha 3 Whiskey is IFR departure to the south, Ardu 2 uniform. Okay, 5 degrees of flap set. Cross check it on the lever. With the Honeycomb throttle quadrant, just be aware that you probably have to pull the flap lever further than the number that you want it to go to. So if you want it at 5, pull it down to probably about 10. Don't worry everybody, that's just because we're not tuned it properly. Thrust is set, 80 knots. Cross check in front. There's no rotate speeds in there for some reason. We did check the FMC. Anyway, positive rate climb, gear up. Good estimate in this aircraft. I'm on a pitch for about 180, so it's quite a steep climb out. I wouldn't typically do this on a 737, for example. And then straight to the left. I'm going to reduce that thrust pretty quickly now. We're above 1,000 feet, so let's reduce it to climb thrust. As you can see, we can start to pitch down a little bit. Technically, we should have the autopilot on at this point, but just because of the steep departure, for some reason it's not registered. A few things haven't been registered there in the flight plan, so it doesn't seem to have registered our position. I don't know why. Flaps coming up and slats. Sort of shortcutting the departure today. It's amazing though, isn't it? Amazing looking view. Increase the speed to 250. Yeah, it's a sort of circuit formation. I'm not sure what's going on the FMC. We did, as I say, we programmed it. We're still classing as being on the runway. Not a good thing, right? We'll do that instead, and then we'll select the autopilot on. We'll allow it to fly as on our route from now on. We're pretty high up for it to come on, so probably about the right altitude. There she goes into the sunset. Okay, quick check of the pressurizations. We come to 10,000 feet. We are in fact pressurizing. We can now turn the landing lights and the seatbelt signs off. I'm going to preempt the ice today by turning it all on early. Just be aware it probably will result in a slight drop in. Well, I didn't notice it then, but sometimes it can result in a drop in performance of the engines. There's a little bit of a change there, not much. Okay, maybe we didn't confirm it. We rotated about that speed anyway, so pretty good. Flight plan 129. We are squawking 1200, I forgot about that, so Let's go ahead and put a random one in. 3021 will be fine. Oh, so good to see everybody in the in the stream today. And anybody who's watching on catch up, thank you very much. $18,000 just about, and we should turn the APU off at this point. Engine bleed air to high pressure, nice and cozy and comfortable in the cabin at 18 degrees. And that's it, we're on the route, we're en route to it. We'll just continue climbing obviously to 430 flight level. Top of climb is just before Ardell actually, which is not too far away. I thought it might be further than that. So the Ardell departure is actually pretty far away. I forgot what I was bloody say about it. So it's pretty far. We had an initial. That's it. We had an initial altitude there to maintain, but unfortunately we've gone past it. We shouldn't have really exceeded 18,000 until we got to Ardell. So, oh well. There's no ATC, so I'm pretty sure we'll be fine up to assigned cruise altitude of 430. We had one other plane, if you remember before, he went up north. We're going down south. Airtime 56 minutes, so it really is a short flight from Khabarovsk down to Vladivostok. Considerably shorter than it was from Chita to Khabarovsk, that's for sure. And that's like the final destination before we when we get to Vladivostok, we'll be touching on sort of like the border there with both North Korea and China. We're going to be touching the edge of China. We're pretty much touching the edge of it now. But like when we get down to North Korea territory, right on the border, that's going to be interesting. Okay, I'm going to step away. If there's any issues, I'll return. And enjoy the flight, and I'll touch base when we get a bit closer. And we're just about approaching top of climb there. We just about missed it, but we're almost at 43,000 feet. So I'm just monitoring at the moment, so we'll put a half bank on. And then we'll reduce that thrust down to cruise. We'll probably do it about now and then. Obviously the aircraft's still going to continue to climb, it's just nice to do it in advance and you'll prevent overspeed that way. Not to mention at this altitude, as I mentioned before, it's really important, but the plane like Citation X, because it flies so fast and high that even the slightest overspeed can result in like a massive control loss. Which is unfortunate really, the design of it, but I suppose that's just nature, isn't it? The wind and the or the lack of air up here makes it maybe not a lack of air, that's not the right word, but it makes it more turbulent and more windy and just harder to control in general. Maybe a lack of oxygen. Anyway, we've pressurized nice and easy without any issues. Still 18 degrees in the cabin, so it's been 18 degrees for a while. We're going to crank it down. It's a nice comfortable 16. We don't want people to cook in the box that we're in. Yeah, 43,000. I'll adjust the throttle as needed. As I say, it would be nice if Laminar Research could adjust these N1 bugs for us, because there's no way to change it as far as I'm aware. As you can see, 91.5, you should usually be able to change it down here, or there should be another way to do it, but again, there isn't. I don't know if that's going to be like edited in the future, perhaps with future releases. I mean, that's just the dimness of it. There's not really any way to change that specific bug setting for takeoff. It seems to do the exact same settings, like no matter what the weight or balance are, which is a little bit disappointing. And we're only at 43,000 for about 100 miles. Yeah, about 100 nautical miles or so. And then we're descending. So anyway, I'll leave you to it. And then again, just checking them over a bit closer. I'm really looking forward to landing. I just checked the, show you actually on the charts, just checked the runway before the star arrival and there'll be an RNAV star arrival. And then we're doing ILS Whiskey. Category 1 into 07 right. Yeah, but the runway itself is quite small, so airport. That's quite small runway, and I don't know. I mean, it should technically be enough for our plane. I can't imagine that Simbrief would allow us to fly here. If it wasn't, there was no warnings on it. We've got the frequencies 110.6 for the ILS, and we've tuned in the actual airport frequency as well for the DME VOR thing. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see this landing. We're going to come in obviously 07 right. We could probably, I think with that length, we're going to have to taxi it all the way down to the runway, which is fine. And then we could just park. Terminal AIS, Apron C Mill, somewhere around here. Thank you, Travel Buff. I just checked your message now. Thank you for the confirmation there. Okay, that's the actual top of descent already. We've surpassed it. Past it now, so we'll get descending down to flight level. According to the charts, 8,000. According to the FMC, it's 8,000 as well. Just checked before, so QNH is 1013 above. The transition level is about 9,000 feet. Nice and high up. So we'll go ahead and start descending. Now, when you descend, sometimes, obviously, if it's on Mac mode, it won't maintain a proper speed. If they pull those throttles right back. Just as long as we don't overspeed, that's fine. We're contesting here with quite strong winds, so 100 knot winds, incredibly fast and dangerous, of course. There it is, there's Vladivostok. I am certainly excited to get landed. We've already got that tuned in, we've already got, we haven't got the ADF, so we'll tune the ADF in, and that should pop up soon as well. We could change that back into normal range, 6 nautical miles, so when this picks up in the ADF it will move. We've tuned the frequency, let's double tune it for runway 07 right. Okay, there is 2 runways there, just very pale on the other. Maybe there's general aviation, smaller aviation aircraft there. So yeah, according to the chart, we'll come down here, and then we're sort of making a left-hand turn there, circling back to the airport. We're not technically within range. Well, we are, but we're not within airspace range just yet. Let's go ahead and set our minimums, 200 feet. Altitude of the airport. Let's have a look at that on this map instead. So 44 feet, that's not bad. Maybe we're better off setting the minimums at 250 then. Let's change it up a little bit. And then RA on there. I used to be the sort of person as well who wouldn't even bother with the minimums. Like I might have set 200 feet on the minimums, but in terms of the takeoff minimums, I never ever bothered about it until the Citation X. I now do, obviously the 737 does it, but in general, never bothered with it on most aircraft. Nice functionality and the lights as well. Some of these mountains as well, I've been looking out the windows a little bit on the, obviously we can see there's not much there to be seen because of the sun, but down here, even at 43,000 feet, you can see these mountains. So these are going to be, you know, quite high up. They are prominent. If you look outside, you can see them ripple, obviously over the landscape. It looks beautiful, looks really stunning. But imagine flying through that in like IFR conditions, and yeah, it's going to be extremely tricky to do it. Okay, keep that power set nice and high. Let's switch these back to low pressure. I'm going to turn the APU on just a little bit earlier. It's safe up to, as you can see, 31,000 feet, so we're actually alright to turn it on below that. I know it's not meant to come on, I think it's like 18,000 to 10,000 feet it should come back on. Today we're going to do a bit differently. I'm also going to do the cabin dump feature. I've not used that for a while, so we'll dump the pressure out when we get a bit lower down as well. The APU generator functionality, and should have really tested it before. Okay, APU's shutting down again. Probably because I pressed the test button. Unless the APU failed, of course, but as you can see, there's no failures. So it's coming up QNH 1012, 1013, which is standard pressure setting. Yeah, maybe we are too high up to start the APU. That's interesting. So it's it does say not above 31,000 feet, so it must just be the temperatures. I mean, the APU itself is, you know, -10, so it's warmed up a little bit. Flight time 42 minutes. I'm impressed with that. That'll do for the last flight in the flight plan. And we're going to set the heading now. Preliminary set to 070. Half bank off. Let's try the APU again. Now we're below 20,000 feet. As you can see, I've only got, I think that's 118 hours there on the APU unit. Yeah, about 118. Going on 119. Right, let's do it properly this time. So APU generators, bleed air on max. There's that hook, so we're doing that left hand turn and then coming down to final. Double check our landing things. So arrival, it's not selected the approach, but we want ILS whiskey. We're not going to do a waypoint because we've got the star arrival there. So standard set to the left hand turn. Yeah, that's pretty much how I expected it to go. Whoa. Autopilot's losing control. Not surprised, to be honest. Yeah, so that's how I expected it to go. Down the side of the runway, down when they then take that left-hand turn to final, base and final. Let's try the autopilot again. It just completely went out of control there, pitching up. Get this selected on VOR so you can see where it is. ADF's not picked up yet, but that's not surprising. X-Plane has a bit of a bug there where it doesn't pick it up apparently within, I think it's like 10 nautical miles or something silly like that. Okay, 18,000 feet, so engine sync off. We've already turned a half bank off. Remember, 9,000 feet the transition level. seatbelt lights on nice and early, and it's pretty warm, so I'll turn the anti-ice off for now and see if a warning pops up, I'll put it back on. There they are though, there's the mountains, they look fantastic. On X-Plane 12 they look not too great from a distance, but this particular sort of terrain and mesh doesn't look great, even close up, but then there are certain mountains, you know, you get close up and it looks absolutely fantastic. Like down there is not too bad, that'll probably look nice close up, but at distance really not great at all. Some of them 5-star, but others like this, just sort of thing you would have got 20 years ago. You know, it's just not changed since then. Vladivostok traffic, Romeo Alpha 3 Whiskey, descended through flight level 125 for the Daggers to Sierra, arrival runway 07 right. Slight some 5 notch of flaps as we're slowing down to 240. Vertical speeds, landing speeds, or sorry, V speeds. So let's check the go around. We didn't check the go around on the charts. Seems like 3,600 there. Missed approach. So set that as a missed approach go around height, and we can see it on the chart as well. So missed approach, minimum climb gradient required straight ahead to 1900 or above. So we'll be above that at 3600. Turn left to the VOR DME, which we've already got tuned in. Yeah, so there it is, 3,400. Keep climbing to 3,400 or above. And we can see that here. So we'll depart. If we need to go around, we'll do missed approach procedures. We'll go around on 072 heading. Let's just double check the heading on there, and we'll turn there, our left hand turn there back downwind for runway 07. Hopefully that won't happen. Again, when we come to the airport, we'll come down and we'll hopefully taxi all the way to the end and get parked outside the terminal. There's 090, just about. Let's preempt the standard with 1013. We can technically leave it as it is, but I don't like to do that. So do that. So 1013 on the left. Considerable pressure change from Khabarovsk, and we'll change it on there as well. Minimums have been set to 50. Amazing. We're touching the edge of the world. That's the runway on the left of us, everybody. It does look incredibly quiet there. There's been absolutely zero souls in this part of the world, but I'm not surprised. So this is the border of China right here. This is the Chinese airspace, Shenyang. And then to the south, even further south, is sort of... I don't know why that's saying Khabarovsk. I don't think Khabarovsk reaches this far out. Who knows? Yeah, this is North Korea. And then off to the left, you got Japan. Somewhere down here in the islands. Just up north is Kamchatsky. Very, very cool. The further out you go and the more remote and explained. I mean, sure, this scenery doesn't look great, but it certainly looks very, very pretty. Gorgeous scenery, gorgeous views, gorgeous clouds. They've really done a stunning job with this new update. Like, you can't see it the same as I can because you're not on the computer, but you know, they never transmit as well to TV, but it's fantastic. It's very quiet in Vladivostok. It's obviously ship ports and things used during the Great Wars and the Second World War, of course. All the shipbuilders and the merchants and traders there. And final height, so 1700 feet after 4600. I'm going to manually set the speed now. Keep it at with full capacity, remember. So this landing speed is not going to be 100% accurate as usual. That, well, we'll add another 10 knots onto that just to be on the safe side. (14, 18, 20), so it's varying quite a lot across this region. Of course, being next to the sea is going to make it worse. Crosswind as well from the left. (15 notches of flaps). 15 degrees of flaps there. That clicking, some reasons, the speed brake. I had resolved this issue of it making strange noises when I moved it on my Yoke, but it seems to have come back again. There, so it seems to be shaking when I'm moving it with my controls up as opposed to using the in-game controls. You can even see it physically shake though, so that's pretty good detail. Either it's not locked in place or the wind's too strong for it, or the speed's too high, etc. And that's the same as us, we're well too high up, so we need to get down to about 2,000 feet. Idle the engines, don't ever do that, it's very, very risky. So switching back to vertical navigation, it's already saying 180 as well, so we had the right speed pre-selected there. It's always good to be on top of things, make sure it's going well. incorrectly. So nice sharp bank there, obviously determined that that turn was not good enough for it. We're about the right height now as well. So we can start to ease up a little bit. Let's arm the approach mode in advance. We've got the ILS tuned in. As soon as we switch it to nav on here, it'll engage it. And we're not picking up. Oh, of course, just remembered we've... oh, we have tuned it. 109.3. ILS frequency, it's on both, I think that's why, so it's gone off from there. It's a shame. Yeah, we need that ILS frequency, so let's do that. There's the runway straight ahead. Navigation. Keep that approach mode armed. There we go, it's engaging it. Fantastic. Vladivostok traffic, Romeo Alpha 3 Whiskey is established on the ILS approach Whiskey to runway 07 right, 10 nautical mile final. We should start descending now. The glide slope's a little bit closer than I thought it would be. It is, and we can reduce our speed safely to about 140, I think. 135, 140 knots, that'll be fine for final. Okay, so we're within 6 nautical miles. We'll just wait a little bit longer for the gear. Brilliant little place this is. Vladivostok, the city, of course. Say little, but it's massive. Incredibly shaped as well, I have to say. Not only have they got the land and the sea that are quite beautiful, but then they got the, you know, all the forestry and the wildlife, the foods, of course. For 4 nautical miles. Gear down, full flaps. Should be a significant drop in speed. Keeping that thrust a little bit higher. 1,000 feet, so autopilot off and your damper off. I have control. Continue down.
Minimums.
And continue.
200.
Looking smooth. Not very windy at all, actually. I thought it was going to be worse than this.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20.
spoilers and buckets. There we go. Welcome to Vladivostok, everybody. Takes you right down to the end of the runway. In that case, I keep the buckets a little bit too early, I think. It's always difficult to maintain directional control on the ground because it seems to bounce a little bit off its nose wheel sometimes. It's sort of back and forth, but good, yeah, good landing. Good landing. Every good landing is one you can walk away from, something like that. Yep, more line now. We've got some 747s, because Cathay Pacific, or Cathay Pacific in the distant BA there for some reason. Of course, they would never fly here at the moment, but in the past they would have. Wow, look at that. We learned a few things going on this journey. One of them is that it's incredibly beautiful down this part of the world. So let's get taxied off. Landing lights off, taxi lights on, stand by on the transponder. APU's already on, radiators, I'll turn window heat off. It is quite warm, it's about 25 degrees here, so that's pretty good. At least we've arrived in good conditions. Nice and cool. And of course China Southern, I would expect them here. They've got a Qantas, Link, Scandinavian Airlines as well. And of course strobe lights. I think it's up to us now. We've got to pick, so everybody brace. Left side will be fine. Park next to these, actually. This is a good little place to go. Nice quick taxi. Don't want to delay. And straight into it. Parking brakes set. Idle cut off on the engines. Flaps have already been retracted, so we'll wait for the N2 to cool down there below 10%. In the meantime, I could probably turn the cockpit packs and things off. Although leaving the bleed down the engines might be worthwhile. We could turn that off. Okay, engine shut down, so beacons off, seatbelt signs, door open. Not going to do a full shutdown, I'll leave the nav lights on. Let's leave the cockpit packs off. We'll leave the bleed air on the engines on low. So we'll do that. We'll just leave standby power on for the navs. Maybe not, it didn't even work. Oh well. Anyway, it's been a fantastic adventure. It's certainly going to be the first of, I think, a few more. We're going to do something interesting next time, the same as this. I'm not saying this isn't. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Travelboff. Successful Trans-Siberian mission, yes, from the Gulf. Indeed, indeed, it's been absolutely great to do it. It's taken 13 flights. I'm really surprised it was that quick. I thought it was going to be a lot more. But 13 is a good number, a nice healthy number, unless you're superstitious, of course, and that's not. Anyway, thank you so much. We're going to continue Friday. Remember the 747 stream, and that'll be all day. I don't expect people to sit through the entire thing, but you can always, you know, hop in and out and see the important parts. That's the main thing, isn't it? Anyway, take care. Have a wonderful morning and the rest of your day.